So in the RV industry, there's really only one frame manufacturer, and that's Lippert Components. And they make our frames for us, but they make the frames to our specifications. So we start with a 12-inch forged I-beam, double, one on each side. We use 14-inch outriggers. The outriggers are doubled up at the end of the slide outs. You'll see it here and here, Ed. There's two outriggers here where there's one every place else. It's double welded on both sides so the welds will hold. One of the first things our guys do when the frame comes into the plant is they turn it upside down on this apparatus and they start to look at the frame and make sure it is built to our specifications. Then we specify the outriggers from Equalizer. Thanks. The Equalizer outriggers are the largest in the industry. They actually started with the Class A manufacturers. You'll notice the rear pads are bigger than most. They're 10-inch on the rear, and on the front pads, they're 12 inches. In the parts and service industry, they sell plastic pads to go under people's outriggers, their stabilizing jacks, because they want a larger pad area. They don't make them for these sizes, I'm told, because this is pretty big. The other thing is all of our slide out rooms are electric instead of hydraulic. We went with electric so that if there was a problem with the unit, it didn't have power or lost hydraulics, there's an override system for the electric, and that is this hex nut here will drive that slide out there. There's one on the other side to drive this slide out. You can hook your 12-volt drill up to it with a impact and drive it in and out. And if you didn't have a 12-volt drill handy, you could hand crank that in. You couldn't do that with a hydraulic system. You'd have to get enough manpower, and the worst would be that you two were out boondocking by yourselves and the hydraulics gave out, your slides are out, you're not going anyplace. So they put the tanks in, they flip this back over. I'm sorry, I did get out of step. The first thing they do then after they have it turned over is they put this corrugated plastic material down. It's a vapor barrier, it's a rodent barrier. It helps protect the bottom side of the tanks and the insulation. It's our foundation that we start building that belly on. So once they have that down, and they put it in sections, they run it in one piece and then they cut it across the outriggers here and put a piece of rail down and they fasten that. So you wanted to get into this section, you could undo this section. Most other manufacturers, you would have to undo the entire underbelly and roll it. Now you're going to be upside down yourself while the unit's right side up and try to roll that stuff back and then put it all back into place. So this way, if you needed to get to one area to check on something or repair something, not just you, but the service centers as well. So it's cheaper in the long run for everybody. Then we lay down this Astro foil. It's bubble wrap with aluminum foil on both sides. We put that across the belly and up the sides. You'll see it's up both sides and up the back. And then we put in the pink fiberglass insulation. So just like in your home, we're using the fiberglass insulation. The next thing the folks are doing here is they're putting the tanks in. 100 gallons of freshwater tanks, between 60 and 80 gallons of black tank and gray tank capacities. To help prevent some of the things that we've seen in the industry, we put plywood on the bottom side of those and strap it to the tanks. Tanks tend to change shape when they get warm or cold based on what fluids might be in there. So we've done that to all our tanks, and then we put straps over the top of them so it won't bow up into the floor as well. All of our wiring is automotive loomed. It's all color coordinated, so, and our service centers know, they have our schematics, they know how to chase a short based on the color of the wire. So when the wire comes up through the frame or through the floor, it's protected from being chafed and getting a short. We also do that to our 110 wire. We color code. We put it in automotive loom. The rest of the industry hasn't caught up to that yet. A lot of people are doing the 12-volt wire. We're the only factory I know that's doing the 110 wire. If it makes sense to do it all and not do part of it. Your hydraulic lines are color coordinated. So on the hydraulic jacks, you have a problem with one jack, you can come up here to the hydraulic pump and you can tell which valve it is that you're having a problem with, and you can correct it there. There's a great shot of the More-Ride IR suspension. And that's an upgrade on available on all the Gold units, and it's standard on the Elite. Great shot of the braking system too. Something we just learned about the braking system in the training we had. So instead of just 2 calipers like on our car, it's got 4. And it's got a heavy duty pump and a heavy duty reservoir to hold all that for all 6 brakes. Watch your head, Keith. Yep. So come up underneath here. This is where we've taken some things from our employees, have said, hey, we've noticed some things. And one of the things they noticed is that we were replacing a lot of the fireboxes for the generators, for prep or for generator sets, because they were getting banged up by the end of the line. And they have to go in up here. So they said, make them a little thicker and add this bracing across the top. And we've done that, and it's cut down on us having to, it's also made it better for you. Then the other thing they said was, a lot of people put the inverter on the wall that's between the 5th wheel and the pass-through storage. They said, what if we built an aluminum frame shelf to put the inverter on? Now you can get to the inverter without standing on your head. So you get to the inverter. We also use a 2,000 watt inverter, where a lot of companies are using 1,200 to 1,500 watt, and I've even heard some people use it as low as 1,000 watt inverters. So we're taking that up for you a bit and putting in a 2,000. Questions?
I was just looking at the braking system. That is for the brakes, right? The hydraulic brakes on it?
Yeah, that down there is, yes. And this is for the stabilizing jacks.
They're large jacks.
They are.
Yeah.
All right, watch your head getting out. So we build the floors. You saw them bringing in the floor frames over here. It's aluminum, welded, double welded, again, just like our frames on both sides, 16 inches on center. Before they put the frame on the floor, they roll out that black shiny plastic called Darko, and that goes to the bottom. It's a vapor barrier. Put the floor down, and they pack it in between the voids with the pink insulation. On top of that goes 5/8 tongue and groove plywood, the AB grade. So if you know anything about plywood grades, AB is not marine grade, but it's better than CD that most of the people use. It's got the voids filled. Bring the floor over here. We wrap that Darko up around the plywood to protect the plywood edges. And then we hand lay that vinyl flooring I showed you. And this is where I told you that we talk a little bit more about flooring, Missy. So other manufacturers put that really thin flooring on, and you could probably scratch it with your fingernails. This will get scratched, not with your fingernails, but you could scratch it by dragging stuff in and out, and we do. Other manufacturers, what they'll have to do is cut that out with a razor knife along the edge of the walls, take it out in as few pieces as possible so they can lay it down on the floor and cut it, use it as a pattern to cut another piece, drag it in the unit, and hose the unit down with adhesive to try to get it all to stick. I would not want a unit that somebody had replaced a floor in it, whether it was at the factory or later on. So with our units, you can take a heat gun to the smaller squares, heat them up, pull them off, and replace them. A lot of our customers buy 6 to 10 of these colored squares to match their unit. So when this does go out of inventory by Shaw, because they've changed colors, they have matching tiles in their unit that they can repair the unit. So with the Arctic package, one of the things we do is we upgrade the 2 furnaces from 20,000 BTUs each to 35,000 BTUs each. So you're getting additional heating capacity. We run 2 additional through the floor vents right in front of the rear sofa. Those are the only floor registers in our unit, and it's only when you have the Arctic package. All of our other furnace vents come up through the kitchen island or through the bed area. So when your tanks are under there, they're under the floor. So you've got all that insulation in the belly with the astrofoil, the insulated floor on top. The tanks are heated 3 different ways. They're heated with electric pads. And when you get the Arctic package, we put extra pads on the tanks. They're heated by radiant heat from the furnace ducts, and then they're heated with forced air heat. We actually run some ducts down there into the belly to warm the tanks. Here you can see our aluminum upper deck, and I've had questions, why aluminum and not steel? We save some weight this way. We don't feel that we give up that much strength or anything else. Where it's critical, where we are putting weight bearing, we will fill it with wood all the way through. You see some other bracing going on. The Arctic package also, we insulate the plumbing when it's in the belly or even in the pass-through area until it gets into the cabin area. The plumbing's insulated. Tires on our units, we talked a little bit about the axles, but our tires are all Goodyear 17.5 inch H-rated, the best in the industry. A lot of people talking about problems with blowouts and stuff early on. It's because the tires and the axles were underrated for the load and the speed. The other thing we do, however, because we know that blowouts will happen, is we put this aluminum protective plate under your floor, just in front of the tires to below the tires. That way, if you do have a blowout, it doesn't get in your floor, because that's where it gets expensive. I did have a customer tell me that they had a blowout, went through his floor, and he had tire tread tracks on his ceiling. So you got to think, those are 125 PSI.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of pressure there.
Are these all gas line, are those all outlets?
Yes, those are all quick disconnect LP lines. You also will notice when we get over into the wall build area that all of our water lines have shutoffs at each faucet or each use
So
location.
That's for
Yep,
your
that's
gas stove.
that stove, and
Okay.
for the two
Furnaces. Okay.
and on that side over there would be for the water heater. So again, you can shut those off at the point. You don't have to shut the entire system down. There's that Darko. Some people use that as their underbelly. A large manufacturer that I worked for in purchasing used that as the underbelly. Actually, they're going home. They started at about 4:30 this morning. It is Friday. So this is one of the things I really like to show people. Missy, this is where you'll start to enjoy the tour a little bit more. So we have Amish craftsmen build our drawers. You'll notice that they're dovetailed. They're solid maple. A lot of people are starting to use maple fronts. They might use maple fronts and maple sides, or maple fronts and maple backs, but hardly anybody else is doing all four sides. And then we put a heavier bottom on it. We also put our drawer guides on the bottom instead of the sides, so you don't lose an inch on either side of the drawer of storage space. When we go to the construction of the unit, you'll see that we use a steel drawer glide retainer that goes into the unit. A lot of people put that just into the wallboard, and that's where it stops. And it feels good and solid for a while. But we're only talking, 5.2 millimeters. It's not a lot there. We put studs in behind that to go on too. So you'll see that in the construction process over here. But I really like these drawers, the best in the industry. It's the little things, So far in our construction, you've not seen any Luan, you've not seen any MDF, OSB, particle board. There is no products containing any formaldehyde or urea at this point. And we try to keep that low. I won't say it's completely out of the units. The industry has been working hard, and we're one of the cleanest that I know of. So the cabinet faces are made by another outside firm that's using all maple hardwood, and they're staining it in two colors, the beachfront and the Brazilian. And then we also have a cherry countryside interior that's also started with a hardwood. So you can mix and match. A lot of other manufacturers will tell you, if you pick Decor A, that they've decided everything for you color-wise throughout the unit. We don't do that. You can pick whatever color of cabinets you want, whatever color of countertops you want. If you want Brazilian in the front and beechwood in the back, or beachfront rather in the back, we can do that. You'll see a unit coming down the line that in the kitchen area, they've got beachfront low and Brazilian high. And if that's what you want to do, it's your unit. So we use real glass and ceramic backsplash. They hand grout it to a plywood backer so that it's stiff in the unit. Instead of just putting this against the unit and the unit flexes and these breaking off, we go to a 3/8 plywood backer and hand grout it to there. This is something else that you can customize. We've had customers go out and pick their own at a local retailer and bring it into us with the receipt, and we'll credit that difference back to you. We just ask that it's 12 by 12 and you try to keep these small squares, but we can work with you. What happens here is these islands and the interior walls and cabinets start to get set and go in this station. And then the next station we start to put walls on, and the rear walls, and the roof comes on down line here in a few minutes. So we use a solid surface countertop similar to the trademarked products out there. There's a few manufacturers now in the industry that have product that is solid surface just like those guys, and it's just as good as that again, that trademark product that we all tend to call our solid surface countertops. I've got some chips up in my office so we can look at different colors, and we can again customize this. I want this to be your unit. I don't want anybody to walk into the unit and say we have one just like this, and you'll say no you don't, because I picked out this and I brought this to it. This is entirely your unit. It's going to be one of a kind. We make a print set for every unit for all the cabinets, because there's always something we're doing. You'll notice as we go through the construction that the shelves are adjustable on most of in most of our pantry and other areas. If they're not adjustable, we can make them adjustable most of the time. Sometimes we'll have to say no because it's a small area or there's plumbing behind it and we just can't make any changes there. We don't like to say no, but sometimes we do say no. But you'll see as we go through, the shelves are hardwood shelves and they're fully adjustable just like they would be at home. Matter of fact, I've had people tell me their cabinets in these units are better than what they have at home. So here you can see they put the sidewalls on. They've got most of the interior walls, and the island's not in yet. They put the rear wall on. Now, you also notice that we've run this Darko and this the astrofoil to the ground. We don't waste things. We're not being bad to the environment here. We're going to wrap that up, this unit, after we put fiberglass insulation in here. The back wall's not as thick as the side walls, of course, but we're going to put a fiberglass cap on here. A lot of manufacturers are making that fiberglass cap now an option.
I've noticed that. Yeah.
So we're not only not making an option, we're also insulating it where they don't. They say it's an air pocket, it's a natural insulation. No, you don't buy that either. Okay, thank you. So this is one of our golds. You can tell by the hard wallboard. The Elite will have the soft touch wallboard on the inside. Right there below you is the the slide out tire carry. So you pull that pin, grab those D handles and pull it out, and the tire comes out. By the way, that spare tire is the same tire that is on the ground over here. It's the same rim, so you can put that in your tire rotation plan if you like. A lot of other manufacturers are putting a lesser tire or a steel rim there, so it's out of play.
And the sidewalls are all bolted down too.
They are bolted down, correct. Some companies are using the glue and nails, or staples and screws. No. There's the other color of tile if you wanted to see. We have two right now. We're approving colors for the new models.
Are these considered 18s or these 19s?
These are set up as 19s.
These are wide body, right?
Yes, 101 inches on the outside, and I believe it's 96 or 7 on the inside. It gets more exciting down here, believe me. So on this bench, we build the ceilings. We start with again, aluminum superstructure. We put the wall or the ceiling board down, the superstructure on top of it, and then 5-inch tall rafters that are, again, 16 inches on center. Once that goes under the roof, they start to run the air conditioning ducts and electrical lines up there for the lights, and you'll see that kind of up here. They also put more insulation, pink insulation. We use a lot of pink insulation in this company. And then on top of that, they put 3/8 plywood, so it's a full walk-on roof. And then over the top of the plywood, they put TPO from Dicor, the Dicor Diflex. It's got a 12-year warranty. While I'm talking about factory warranties, the torsion flex axles from Dexter, we just found out in the training they did for us, they just went from a 5-year warranty to a 10-year warranty on those Torflex axles.
And the 2 axles, that's an 8,000 pound capacity then? Or are they 7,000?
Those are 8,000 pound. Yeah, we do use some 9,000 pound capacity. So we're starting to bring appliances and other product in. You notice the
Yeah, we noticed you use
residential style stoves. It is an option. Our standard is a 2-burner induction cooktop. But we have both we have a 24-inch and a 30-inch stove. And in this unit, it will get a residential style hood, stainless steel and glass. It's absolutely gorgeous. But some of them do. A lot of our people full-time.
Well, you could with that.
Yes. This is the only model though that has the vent hood, because every other model, the stove range is in the slide out, and we have to vent through the wall. So we can't vent out the roof. You still get a microwave with this unit. Microwave standard in all of our units. It's a convection microwave. And I had a woman talk to me, she says, honey, you don't want me to bake you cookies in that convection microwave. She says, try me. She says, I need the oven. I said, okay. The other thing, we went from the hung sidewalls. After time, even our houses, we know that fiberglass insulation settles, let alone something that's going down the road. Yes, yes. So this doesn't settle. It fills up all the spots. That's our water heater. This is the Truma on demand.
Okay, it's on demand.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's tankless in essence. Pretty efficient. I was with a company, we tested them, and they maintain temperature on 2 wide open faucets, warm enough to be able to shower. So that's an option, and then the standard is a 10-gallon water heater, which after you used 1 gallon of water off of that, and now you're putting in a gallon of cold water into the 9 gallons of hot water, and you're doing that every minute. It doesn't take long for that 10 gallons really not to be hot. Yeah, you have to take military showers. So we do put dual 40-pound LP tanks on our coaches. It's the largest allowed by the RVIA is 40 pounds. We have a switchover valve in here, left for the left side, right for the right side, down the middle, drains both at the same time. I don't think I would do that because I would be out of LP and both my tanks would be empty.
It does an automatic switch.
It does an automatic switch. No, again, so put it on the left side, and I would still run out of LP because I'd put it on the left side, use that up, and switch to the right side and use that up and go, oh.
I currently have one, it switches from one tank to the other.
Yeah, yeah. Does it tell you then do you have a tank monitor?
I don't have a tank monitor, but in there it has a gauge.
Yeah, I've seen the gauges.
It's flipped over to the other side, yes.
Yeah. That's something I've talked to them about. I don't know if we're gonna do it. So, see, this unit's get set up for the generator. It's an Onan 7.0. So we've put the front cap on here. You'll notice again the Astro foil. When they put the roof on in the next station, they'll use that Darko about a quarter way back and drape it about about 2/3 the way down the front of the cap, again to give you some vapor barrier, and it'll help hold in the pink insulation that we're going to put up in there. And then we're going to put the front cap over that. You go to some of the other manufacturers' front closets, open up the closet doors, you'll notice there's a cold rush coming in because they don't put the insulation up there. The cap is the insulation. We pack that with insulation, again, the fiberglass insulation. Ah, yes, one of my favorite units. So you like the mixed woods. So this is a gold. It's got what we call the attic storage. So you'll see the line of cabinets across the top over the slide outs. The slide outs are a little bit shorter in the gold to allow us to do that. And then this unit, they've chosen to put in the beachfront up high and the Brazilian down low here on the island. Yeah, instead of straight into the bedroom, it's up a small hallway. It gives you a little bit of a storage area here, kind of a corner nook, as well as a wardrobe, an extra wardrobe on the inside. You can't see straight back. Yep, yep. And the bathroom was just up in there as well. So you see we're starting to put some lights in. All of our interior lighting is LED, so low voltage draw, low heat. Our dual air conditioners are truly dual zoned. They don't run one big racetrack from one to the other. They're two separate tracks, so you can actually keep the bedroom colder or warmer than the rest of the area. They're 13,500 BTUs each. They're the Whisper Quiet from Dometic.
And they're ducted, so they're not it's not the vent right up.
Correct, they are ducted. Yep, I'll show you. Well, yeah, you can see the round holes are the ducts.
We currently have that, but we also have...
The rectangular is the cold air returns.
Yeah, we also have...
Or the air returns.
Return is right underneath the air conditioner.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
loud noise.
yes. We'll get into a unit out here and you'll notice that the Whisper Quiet's not noisy at all. We also have an option of heat pumps on those air conditioners. So in weather like today, you just need to get the inside temp up a little bit. Instead of using your LP furnaces, you can use electric. You can use the two electric heat pumps on the air conditioners as well as your electric fireplace, and it'll get toasty inside. So we cut you some access up underneath. Watch the sharp metal here. And then we put doors on there, so you can get in there. If it's a 5-minute job to get in there and change something or look at something, or where other people, you have to tear that wall out, and that 5-minute job just became an all-day job, taking the wall in and out. Also inside the hole here, we put an outlet as well as a cable access for, the CATV. So this will become a mid-den unit. It'll have a second semi-private area that could be made into an office or a game room or even a bedroom. And we have people that make into all three. I have a couple that's looking at one of these, and they're going to put 3 beds in that room, and they have a 2-week-old, a 4-year-old, and a 9-year-old, and they're going to full-time. Yeah. Boys, all boys. So again, you see this is the Elite. It's got the soft touch walls. Also has the ceiling fan that the Gold doesn't have. It's going to have the higher slide outs in it and not the attic storage. Other than that, our faucets, our sinks, the floor material, the backsplashes, all the cabinets, the frame, tires are all the same in the Elite, the Gold. So this is where we start to bring together the soft goods. And so you think I'm lying to you because you're seeing numbers and not names. We have a lot of open units on the line right now, getting ready for this fall and spring. But here's the Peters family. I saw some earlier, the Owens family, the Green family. We're very proud to build for families and not that we're building a number. These guys like to know your names. They like to know that what they're doing is going to matter to a family. So your valances, all the different fabrics you can pick, again, mix and match what suits your taste, not our designer's taste. The only thing you can't do is complain to me in 6 or 9 months you don't like the colors that you picked out.
Yes, I can.
Oh, well, you can. I can't do anything about it. Well said. So here's the optional solid step from Lippert Components. It folds up in the door and out of the way. If you jump on that, you'll notice that there's no movement.
Yeah, look at those.
So we went with this over the other manufacturer just because this top step is deeper.
You get that extra.
You get that extra. Doesn't seem like it matters a whole lot until you're walking out of the inside of the coach with something in your hands and you can't see that narrow step. Now for you on the video, this is something I really wish you could see. I'm gonna have Keith come over here. I want you to see, each of you, how heavy that door is. It's solid. It's not a hardcore door. It's made out of maple. Is that door heavy?
Yeah. Yeah, this is nice because a lot of them you go into, it's all just the same color.
This is a 40 feet 10 inches, if I recall. So there's that stainless steel and glass vent.
Is it the taller slide out?
Yes, this is an Elite. It still has overhead storage in that slide out over the sofa and the dinette area. The soft touch sidewalls. It cuts down on a lot of the noise. LG refrigerator, LG microwave, LG televisions throughout.
What about the sink?
The sink in here is a double bowl stainless steel. I'll be glad to show you out there. A residential style faucet. The sink in the bathroom is solid surface, one piece into the countertop.
Do you do like the one bowl sink?
The farm sink
Yeah.
certainly can do that as an option. Again, it's your unit. I'm not going to tell you how to build it. Yeah, here's the fill convenience center, as some call it. Light switches over here, by the way, inside the pass-through. You notice we've covered up the plumbing from that other bathroom, so it's not exposed. A little bit more insulation keeps, again, the pipes safe. If you look over here, we've insulated all that, so this is an Arctic package. You can see lots of shut-offs there.
What is that, a filter up in there?
That is a filter up in there. The other thing is the trims we put around the unit. A lot of people just put aluminum trim and run the screws through it, and they get 5,000 screws showing you on the outside. They've been painted, but that's all the additional rust protection they've done. Instead of using painted screws, we've decided to put a plastic cap over that rail. The great thing about the TPO roof versus the rubber roof is it takes less maintenance. It can be repaired in place. His and her wardrobes.
Well, that was so cool.
Actually, we know that it's hers and hers wardrobes,
Yeah, I
right?
take about this much space. The kids, they're for it.